Hi guys, welcome again. This time again with something different. So I found a new game that I really like. I never thought I will. But it's one of my favorite types of game. It's light skirmish. And this game is just amazing. I think if you have like kids or a spouse that will play with this with you, you should order this right now. And let me say, I'm not sponsored. I didn't receive anything from these guys. I just wanted to let you know about the things that I like, basically, because that's why I started this channel, to talk about things that I like and to make videos that I can find, like story time, slight. Maybe slightly off topic, but I have always wanted to watch Seven Wonders commentary, and I never found it, so I think I'll just make it. And same with this. This is a great game. It's much deeper. It's not super deep, but it's much deeper that you will first think when you read the rules. That's what I did. I've heard about this game. I read the rules and was like, no, too simplistic. Probably not enough depth. But my friend Napier, cheers to Napier, said that it's great. I believed him, I played, and I fell in love. So in this video, we will talk about a lot of characters that have already been played, and we will rate them, and basically talk about strategy a little. Like that, because I do not have replays or anything to go for, so we will just do a kind of tier list or review of the characters. So here you can see there are a lot of sets. There's Jurrasic Park, there's Golden Girls, which is super funny, super cute, Rick and Morty, of course, DC and Harry Potter, the big ones. And in this one we will talk about DC, Harry Potter and Jurrasic Park. So here I have a prepared list of characters. So first, let me say that I think there are like 4 type of classes that you can think about this game. So first one is like a controller that will, make your opponents move or deny some movements or stuff like that. Then there is brawler that will get into the fight and basically slash people. Third is ranged DPS, where you will stay afar, but you will just poke your opponents and do stuff like that. And the fourth one is a scout that will get your points or objectives and stuff like that. And maybe a fifth one is support that will kind of encourage your team. So yeah, let's say there are 5. And I will rate those cards between 1 to 5. 1 is you should probably avoid playing it. 5, you should always play it when you have a chance. And of course, this is all my opinion. I played some games. I haven't played them enough for it to be a definitive list, but it will be a fun thing to review in the future. I will re-review this maybe and say where I was wrong. And when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about a meta where there are only these 3 sets. 4. So DC, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, and Rick and Morty. Okay, so without further ado, the Joker. As you can see, he is a controller. He has area denial and he has a strong attack with only 1. What he lacks is probably a little range and a little movement, so that's why I'm giving him 3 stars. He is a very interesting character. You can do a lot of stuff. You can, because of how sights work in this game, you can kind of position the boxes in a way that your opponents cannot attack you. So that's great, but it's also a little map dependent. But he's a very high skill cap hero. I like him. 3 stars. Then we have Harley. Harley is a little bit of a controller as well, but mainly she's a bruiser, brawler. She's all about the basics challenges. That's why the mallet is very good on her. I like her and she pairs well with Joker, I would say, because you can move a lot of stuff on the boxes using her abilities. I would say you should probably pair her with Joker. That's what's worked best, and it's kind of flavorful. 3 stars, also. Like, this is not my first pick or anything, but you can make it work. Then we have the Batman. Batman is a bruiser, definitely. Bruiser brawler. He has an ability that I really like, a type of ability. It's a move plus attack, which lets him do 2 attacks per turn. That's like, you cannot kind of do this with those characters. Like, you can do... she has an AoE, that's why you can do this, but the Batman can do a 2 and then a 3 using only his tokens, so that's pretty great. And the grappling swings let you travel around the map a lot, which is very, very fun. And his ability also makes him not an ideal target. 2 is good. 2 is good enough. 3 is great for the defense. And the relentless skill also goes with that. So yeah, he is a good character, I would say. Maybe like, as you will see later, attack 3 looks decent at the start. It's more than 2, the usual. But he doesn't have that much power, so you will probably want to give him something, maybe give him an item that will make his attack more deadly. For example, a mallet, not a mallet, a Felix Felicis. Then we have the Batman. I think I still give Batman, like, I think he's 3.5, so I will give him 4, I guess. I think he's a little bit better. I will rather draft Batman than these two, to be honest. Then we have Batgirl, and Batgirl is one of my favorite characters. I love her ability, and it combos very nicely with the flying tackle, because you can make it so she can see, or you can go away 1, so you will get more momentum for the first ability. I also kind of like this one, because you can kind of challenge and then move away, so they do not have like 2 attacks on you. That's pretty good. I like the colors of her tokens, and the intel. Sometimes it's pretty good. It's not amazing, but if you do not use it and you have other characters with gray, and gray can be used to a great effect, it's really good. Also to defense, one of my favorite characters, 5 stars. She's not OP, like 5 stars doesn't mean that she's like broken, but like whenever I will get a chance, I will probably add Batgirl, just because of how fun and good this character is. Okay, then we have Robin, and Robin, well, it's hilarious. Here I agree with Tom Vassell that there is a Robin partner, making it look like the Robin is the main guy. And I love Robin in the comics, but here Robin, no bueno. He has this, provide backup. He's a brawler basically, and Batgirl is also a brawler. Like basically the DC is a lot about the fights. The movement ability is good, but there is not much else. There is like a lot of attacks on 2. And that's just not good enough. Like here, these are not even basic challenges, so you cannot use mallet on them. Also, the Robin partner attack is not a basic challenge, so it kind of stinks. And there is like a basic move also. Like everything here is so basic that it's rarely worth it. What I think Robin is good at, because there is one thing, is ganging up on teams that have a lot of 1 defense, because then the attack 2 is reliable enough. But in my opinion, if your opponent has at least 2 characters with 1 defense, he's already doing something wrong. So sure, you can throw Robin, but you can throw a lot of other stuff as well. Robin gets 1 star. That might be so sad and makes me so sad, but I honestly don't see a great value. But also he's very flavorful with Batman because of how their tokens combo. So that's nice. You can kind of make up combos with them. They're not that reliable as other stuff, but you can play them together probably. I just don't see that like the teleport is what saves him, but oftentimes you would want to position Batman in the way that you cannot see him, so there is a lot of setup and not a lot of payoff, I would say, in playing Robin. Like this card just makes his abilities work. If it gives something like 1 defense, then sure, Robin would be great. But without this, I don't like Robin that much. Then we have Catwoman, and Catwoman is a scout. And I love me some Catwoman. The movie was terrible, but Catwoman here is great, and she has move 4. This is limited to once per turn, and good that it's limited, but it's amazing. And she even she has some stuff that's bad, mainly 1 defense, and like even the odds attack, it's a basic challenge, so that's not the great attack, but and you will rarely use it. But the second chances is great. This is a basic challenge done twice, so with a mallet, very reliable. Without the mallet also, what I like to do is I like to give a broom to Catwoman in a lot of scenarios, like capture the flag or stuff like that. She's very mobile then, she can move 8 in 1 turn, which makes her a real threat. Her passive ability is also great. Like if she dies, then she can come back in a very, very awkward spot for your opponent usually. And the second chances attack is amazing against one armor opponent. So 5 stars. I really like her, and she goes very, very well with the Batgirl because of how their tokens combo. So very nice. Then we have Bellatrix. Bellatrix is I don't know. She's like all over the place. The first one is like a ranged DPS, but not a lot of DPS, but a lot of range. Then we have a controller ability. Then we have like, I don't know, kind of bruiser ability, I would say, because this is just basically standing up. And yeah, like this combos together, like the Mos Modora and her passive of being a Notorious Witch. Confundo is a nice little bit of annoyance for your opponent. I don't love Bellatrix, but she's fine. She gets 3 stars. You can use her. She won't let you down too much, but she's just not excellent at anything, to be honest. I'm not sure if with Imperial you can use your opponents to get tokens for you, with the point markers. If you can, then maybe, but I don't know if that's such a big deal. Usually you probably just want to move them. So yeah, 3 stars for Bellatrix. Then we have Voldy. Voldy has this Avada Kedavra spell, which is the main thing, and then he has some AoE as well. He's basically a definition of ranged glass cannon DPS. And a very good passive, because, well, he is the Dark Lord. 4 stars. I like him. I do not love him, because I like to play this game more about movement than rolling dice, but if you want to roll dice, Voldy is the best. I can see him totally being 5 stars. He has just this very high costs, and you have to have a lot of grey tokens in your pool that your other characters won't use. But yeah, he can be amazing. Highly recommend. Then we have Hermione. Hermione, I think that's what you call it in English. So she is a support, well, basically the biggest thing here is her passive, that your allies cannot be knocked out. This is adjacent, but Hermione can be kind of hidden behind the corner, but she needs to be adjacent, so she needs to be able to see the ally. But in some of the maps, she can like hold a choke point or with this, and she can just assist. She doesn't have a great attack. Like, it's serviceable, but not amazing. But the Accio is kind of nice because it lets move her your allies, which is pretty good. If you have like a very strong bruiser, then she can move him up and maybe use him as cover. And then she has the Sando also that will maybe make for example Voldy a little more like, she's the definition of support in my opinion, with just basically some other attack. But I don't think she's that amazing at it. I'll give her 2 stars just because of the 1 defense. If she had 2, then it'd be much higher. But I rarely play her. I try to avoid drafting her or stuff like that. Then we have the boy who lived himself, the Harry Potter, and Harry Potter is basically a bruiser, I would say. He has some range DPS, but it's not amazing. But his challenge free to all adjacent rivals is pretty good. So yeah. And he has a bit of support as well in forms of Protego, and that's if you don't know what do you want to do, or in a leader scenario, it's very good. I would give Harry Potter 4 stars just because he is very versatile and he does a lot of things really good. The challenge free to all adjacent rivals, if you get at least 2, that's super worth. Expelliarmus is pretty cheap and has a good range. It's, to be honest, it's worse than Hermione, but Hermione uses a gray token, which is like, as I said, it's worse because a lot of gray tokens are really important, mainly Voldy. But yeah, he can do a lot of stuff, and then Protego is also very cheap. Like, just because this is 1, it makes it good. Then we have Ron Weasley, and Ron Weasley is a support character with a bit of DPS, but he's a team player, as you can see, and he's a great team player. He's my favorite figure, I think. 5 stars, amazing. Just the first ability turns your scouts into better scouts, and also turns your not scouts into scouts. Range free, challenge free is amazing. The character must be standing, sure, but mainly you just want to knock them down to get ahead in the action economy. And Redacto is just great against something that's annoying and very cheap. And the passive is good as well, and he can stay alive long because of the range and because of his other abilities. Amazing figures, 5 stars. Then we have Draco Malfoy, and he's kind of like a hunter that gets his pet. I would say he's a ranged DPS still. Basically he's good at knocking out stuff. The snake is very good. That's why he gets 4 stars. 1 defense is not that bad, just because that he can use his snake a lot. And his snake is maybe only 2 star, but he's 3 star against knockdown opponents. And he can do, sometimes with the right setup, he can get 3 attacks per turn. So that's really good. Also, moving your character if you win, that's not amazing. Like, if you win is very prohibitive, but it's still good. and he has a teleport, so that's pretty good. Then we have Morty. Morty has another token, and Morty is a scout, in my opinion, because he can move 4 and then interact with a token, and a bit of the support. Like, as you can see, it's hard to make them into categories so much because they have different abilities. But Morty is a great scout. I treat him as that, and I'll give him 5 stars. This is great, just because he can pick up somebody. He can get a token. He can give your Voldy the tokens back, and if for example you play Ron, he can get a lot of intervates because you have another token. Then he has a great attack if you like, just a great character. And then we move on to Rick Sanchez. Rick Sanchez is like, the cards are very good, like the abilities are very good, but there is not much else. Get Swifty is nice, but it's kind of hard to make him work. He kind of works in a bruiser type scenario. But yeah, I would still give him 3 stars. If you get like a bruiser team, then that can do a lot of basic actions, then he can work kinda there, because he can kinda act as a support that will get thrifty from time to time, and give like, using his ability, he will give you more dices, or I don't know, or just more range, or more movement for something. If you like play as a pack, and then I think he's decent. Then we get into Raptor. Raptor, I think it's amazing. The teleporting, also you can stand up when you teleport, so that's just great. You have a charge and also you place an ambush token, so that's a nice bonus. You can stalk. There are only 3 tokens. If there were more, she would be even better, but thankfully there's only 3. The challenge is very nice, so you can do kind of like end of the turn setup with I don't know, Talon Leap and Stalk, and then next turn Pack Hunter for 5, or even, I don't know, double Pack Hunter. You can even do it for like 7, right? When you have two allies adjacent, so that's really, really good. I think you can do 8 with Draco's Dragon. Yeah, I think so. Well, that would be really, really hard to set up, but you can theoretically do it. 5 stars. 1 defense is not that prohibitive because of how mobile she is, and that she can stand up using her Clever Girl ability. Yeah, just great. Okay. Rae Arnold. Rae is very hard to evaluate, and I haven't played enough, I think, to evaluate him. But I will just give him, like, right now, I think he can be a 4 star. Just because he can, like, knock himself out and let somebody just rain on, like, for example, knock himself out, get Harry Potter another turn that he can kind of move and do an ability that your opponents don't expect, and then teleport back to Ron, for example, for something, I don't know. He can also, like, hold on to your butts is pretty good. And yeah, he is just good, I think. 1 defense is not that bad because of, like, I think his main thing is letting like the other guy go twice, with it could have been worse. And it also prevents your opponent from taking points. He's a great support, I think, and in the right hands he can be very deadly. Then we have Dr. Ellie. She's a woman of action, but not really. She's very fragile and she's a bruiser. That's not a good combination usually. As you can see, for example, if I rate something good as one, usually it's a support character or a scout. Clever girl, she has an ability that lets her kind of cheat that. She kind of has nothing. Like, she can move 4, but only if she's adjacent to a rival. So if she's adjacent, she doesn't need to move as a bruiser. Getting her hands dirty is not bad, but not amazing either. Like, let's compare it, for example, to Batman. Batman has just challenge 3 on 2, right? Hers is challenge 3 on 2 if she stacks it. Like, of course, she can have an ability token or point marker, but that's still not good enough, I think. Still not good enough. And then, like, she wants to do interact or assist actions, so she kind of wants to be in the middle of the brawl as well. But again, she has one. This one is quite good because this is the biggest IOE, but it's just 2 dice, right? So that can be hard to do, and also this she needs to see them, so you have to position really well. But yeah, she can still be playable. 2 stars, I think. Then we have Alan Grant, and I really like his first ability, because it lets you get more points. That's one of the only character right now that lets you get more points. He has also a great attack. Challenge 3 on range 2, it's very good. And Give Me Your Hand is also useful. And the Dig Leader, not bad as well. Overall, really enjoying this character whenever I play him, 4 stars. T-Rex, the only character that has 2 dice, 2 tokens that are the same. Challenge 4 is great, and the ability here is great, so he's definitely a bruiser. Move 3 in a straight line. Straight line is kind of prohibitive, but very flavorful. And predatory instincts, I think, are pretty bad. Overall, I would give him 3 stars, just because the challenge 4 with the shifting the tokens back, those are pretty good. He can easily do a double challenge 4 with a setup from the previous turn, so that's quite powerful, but not my type of character. Then we have Ian Malcolm, and I absolutely adore Ian Malcolm. He has a Chaos die that has 3, like, he's very random, but not really, just because he's Instant Snark, range 3 challenge 1, but that's using a Chaos die, and if you lose, you can re-challenge. That's very useful against higher armored opponents, because it lets you basically get stuff away from 3, and also it's easier if you have like cards that give you defense for one roll. You just lose the first one and aim for the second one. Same with Catwoman. Life finds a way. Sure, it can be useful in some situations. I usually don't use it at all, just because I try to build my teams so they already have this, but this is a very powerful ability. Don't be mistaken. You can kind of do everything with this. Like, for example, if you don't want to use blue with him, you can just swap for another one that will be useful for you. Or you can just make all the other tokens and just, you can just use him as like, his basic attack with a Chaos die is pretty good. And his defense is higher just because he has the Chaos die as well. So especially against higher attacks, because you can still roll those crits. I'm like, he gets 5 stars just because he has a special place in my heart, because of like he's very, very exciting. And that would be it for this video. I don't know if you enjoyed it. Probably it's very random for my channel, but I just wanted to make stuff like this, because that's why I started my channel. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. You stay healthy during the COVID-19 crisis. See you guys later. Bye.